What's up, everyone? It's your boy BLAZEDxENFERNO, and you're listening to episode 83 of the Infernal Gaming Podcast. We're recording this episode 4/19, so April 19th at 1 a.m. in the morning, man. So, yeah, I mean, we try and get that content. This shit's coming right off the presses to y'all. It's literally going to be dropping this morning. I mean, y'all going to get some new content, to listen to. Hopefully, y'all enjoy it. But for those that are new here, just know you can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. Links are in the description. Check out our personal links as well. Remember to rate the show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify to help us grow. And also make sure if you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure you like the video, man. And comment, man. Let us know, dog. Let us know. I know we missed out on a topic last podcast. We're supposed to talk about Marvel Rivals. Don't worry. We're going to talk about that on the next podcast, man. I got y'all, man. I know we forgot to circle back about it. We mentioned it, but we wanted to give it its own time because we're liking what we're seeing, man. I mean, we're liking what we're seeing with that game. So we'll talk about that more in depth, probably episode, I don't want to say, because this is a music podcast, you know what I mean, right? And y'all may get back-to-back music podcast episodes because it's been a while, man. It's been a long time. I think the last time you guys got any music content from us on the podcast was before the new year, man. So it's been a while, man. It's been a while. And trust me, man, we're trying to get things together to where we can get these music podcasts out a little bit more regularly. All right. But everybody be busy, man. Bird in the military doing military shit. Warren
defending our country and our freedoms, nigga.
Facts. Yeah, facts. Mm-hmm. And then you got Warren, he just be hating on Eminem so hard that he don't got the time, dog. He don't got the time, dog. He don't got the time. So it's hard, man. It's hard, man. But we're gonna start this. We're gonna start this podcast off with kind of the same thing we do with the gaming podcast. We talk about usually what we've been playing recently on the gaming podcast, kind of spark up a conversation, interesting conversation. But this is the music podcast, so I'm gonna ask you, Warren, what have you been listening to lately, man? What's been on your playlist, man?
Well, what's it? Given that we remember we was out in Maryland a couple weeks ago to shout out to our boy Knox, celebrating his birthday and whatnot. And I was tasked with having to come up with a chill 70s playlist for the party that we was at and whatnot. So kind of old school shit from there, and every now and again, piecing together one of the playlists that I've been working on for the past couple weeks now. Just it's a lot of chill stuff, basically. A lot of chill music. Nothing too much. I haven't really delved too deeply into a lot of the albums. Let me take that back. I have listened to the future albums that have come out. I actually listened to the Glorilla mixtape that came out too as well. I found that pretty impressive as well.
That was really good, man.
Yeah,
that was really good.
Yeah,
I was pleasantly surprised with that project, man. Shout out to Glorilla on that joint.
Shout out to her. Okay, I'm hoping she wins and finds her artistic direction before she puts out the full on album. But in and out of music here and there and whatnot, just trying to keep up with things. But I feel as though hopefully around this time of the year, I want to dedicate more weekends to kind of discovering new music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that 100%. That's kind of how I've been. I'm not gonna lie. I've been. It's crazy with today's topic, right? With minus today's topic, I should say. Hip hop's kind of been kind of boring, man. To me, it's been kind of uninteresting, man. Even to a sense, right now, it's still kind of uninteresting to me. You know what I mean? So I've been kind of fucking with the major wave of R&B albums and projects and stuff we've been getting, man. But
For me, it's always been about, like, I made a New Year's resolution to give more shine and attention to not so heralded artists. Like, we're in a space right now where a lot of, like, hip hop or even R&B is kind of like a bit more formulaic, and where people kind of like, you hear the common trope that people are saying that R&B is dead, it don't sound the same way it used to and whatnot, and people can say the
yeah,
same thing about hip hop and whatnot. But what I learned in the previous year, in like that process of like making that playlist that I was making, that a lot of good artistry is still out there. It's just that it's a lot of it is independent and not so like it's all underground, and you can find really really good quality if you just put the effort into looking for it. Like, sure, like you're gonna have your heavy hitters and all that kind of stuff that's gonna put up like stuff that's for mass consumption, but really like the gems are really in like the underground spaces. So you really got to make the effort to do it. So that was my resolution, is to meet art where art lies.
mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah, I feel that 100%. Like, it's just been, I wouldn't even say it's been boring. It's just kind of like stagnant, and things are kind of just all the samey, and it seems like everybody's not putting the best work out. Like, it just kind of seems like everybody's just doing the best they can. I mean, so I've been diving into like classics. I listened to Doja Cat's new album. Well, not new album, the deluxe.
Deluxe, yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty good. Bryson Tiller dropped the self-titled album, which is maybe we'll go into detail with that more when we do our like review episode. But like,
I will say,
thought it was cool.
I will say this year so far, even like with what you're saying, I still find it's better than 2023 for sure.
I guess
2023 was bad, man. It took a while for anything to kind of like do anything to cause up some level of excitement.
I think with 2023, I think what it was just last year was a time for the underdogs to shine, and I think that's what I think that's what happened, man. I really do think that's what happened. So, I mean,
because it was just a lot of like meh that came out.
It was.
Even Drake's album, okay, that had all the fanfare and excitement to go along with it. It was just very underwhelming.
Very underwhelming.
Yeah, so the field was open for like something like I was actually thinking about this today, whatnot. Like, what's it? I don't whether or not Jay-Z is still doing his thing, but like if he was going to drop, I would imagine doing it in a year like 2023, where you don't have to compete with a laundry list of like other heavy hitting artists. Like that probably would have like stood out more than anything else. But because there really was a dearth of quality, all we had was Killer Mike and Travis Scott, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty much. You kind of hit it on the nail with that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Well, we had others, man. We had Gunna, Offset. Like I said, we'll talk about more when we get to because we gotta do a top 5 list of the year too. I mean,
for last year.
Yeah, we still didn't do that.
Oh God, that's gonna be painful.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to tell you, we got a lot to catch up with the podcast, music wise. But going back to what I was saying, yeah, I've been listening to what is it? I listened to Cowboy Carter. That was cool. I wasn't really feeling that too much. But what was it that I was just like listening to, man? Like really, really listening to. And I was like, oh, this is
Dirty Nachos.
Nice. That is fire, dog. All right. That joint is heat. That joint, we gotta save that for the review episode. But yeah, that shit's heat, dog. That shit's heat. It's from the girl who made the TikToks, the viral TikTok joint. The like that. She dropped the EP, and I'm not gonna lie, it's called In Control. That shit's heat. And she's only like 17 or something like that. Like she a young bull making like classic, like old school bangers, man. And it gives me like OF vibes. Like I've been kind of like fucking with that EP the past couple of days. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, that's all I've been listening to, man. But today we gotta talk about some hip hop, man. Maybe hip hop, maybe R&B, but it's all pertaining to hip hop for the most part, man. I mean, we got singing niggas, we got rapping niggas, we got all types of niggas getting involved. All right. So I know all of y'all know, y'all seen the title, y'all know what we gonna talk about. Y'all, this is the first kind of format we've done with this type of with our music podcast. Usually we just review albums and talk about shit, but today we're gonna center it around a complete topic. All right. Today is all about this ongoing rap civil war that's going on right now between Kendrick and Drake and Future and all these other niggas that's getting involved, man, because it's getting scary, dog. I ain't gonna lie, man. So that was April 12th, he dropped the second part, but the first part dropped March 22nd, I believe. I'm not wrong. It's like March 22nd.
It was March 22nd. It was my birthday when that Future joint dropped.
Yeah. So we got the first album by Future and Metro Boomin, which was called We Don't Trust You, right? Going into the album, right, like I feel like nobody kind of expected anything because it's Metro Boomin and it's Future. So we're expecting, you know, he says we don't trust, if you know, Metro don't trust you, we gonna shoot you, you know what I mean? So everybody just thinking the title of the album is just a play on them words, but little did we know, going into track one, that we were literally seeing the first bombs drop of a rap civil war, dog. We were seeing the bombings, all right, of the first civil war, dog. And on the first track on this album is called We Don't Trust You. Future Future spits some bars insinuating that someone was just a fan, dog. Yeah, I mean, that's what he said. And I quote, I'm gonna pull the lyrics up just for y'all, man, because I got the lyrics ready right here. Yeah, I mean, he said, oh damn, I just lost it, man. Yeah, here we go. You a nigga number one fan, dog. Sneak dissing, I don't understand, dog. Pillow talking, acting like a fed, dog. I don't need another fake friend, dog. And everybody was sitting there like, yo, who the fuck talking about? Like, right? I mean, like, go further into the album and it's just your regular Future, right? It's just your regular Future. You know, you got Ice Attack, you got Young Metro, you got all the other songs, the type shit, John, where he throws some little subliminal shots at my boy Gunna. Shout out Gunna. You know what I mean? We don't fuck with rats. That's some new type shit. You know what I mean? Also a banger. But then we get to a song called Like That, man, all right? Called Like That. And of course, when this album dropped, we did not know any of the features. We didn't see any of the features on the album, kind of on some Travis Scott shit. So we had no idea that shit was about to go DEFCON 5, dog. All right? Shit was about to get real, dog. All right? When Kendrick Lamar came on the track, that is called Like That, and he spit some bars basically insinuating, what did he say? He said something about let me see. Get to the lyrics.
It's essentially his response to first-person shooter.
Yeah. Basically, because if you remember in Drake and J. Cole song "First-Person Shooter," J. Cole talks about the big three being Drake and Cole and Kendrick, but Kendrick on Like That says, fuck sneak dissing, first person shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches. I crash out like fuck rap. This Melly Mel if I had to. What do he say? I'm trying to get to He said, motherfuck the big three. It's just big me. You know what I mean? He said, I'm really like that. And your best work is a light pack. And he said, nigga, Prince outlived Mike Jack. Because remember on the song, First Person Shooter, he said he had that Mike, that he said he won away from Mike, nigga beat it. You know what I mean? He said that line. Drake said that fire ass line to end the song. You know what I mean? So he responded with Prince outlived Mike Jack. You know what I mean? And then he said, for all your dogs getting buried, man. You know, remember the album was called All Your Dogs. So now it's for all the dogs. So now we're seeing the lineup now. We're seeing everything come to light, man. All right. We got this crazy bomb getting dropped in the middle of the album. And then the rest of the album is just a regular Future album. You know what I mean? It's just a regular Future album. You got Rick Ross on a song, and people think he threw some like light jabs at Drake, but it was like little small things that I'm not even gonna like really go into with it. But yeah, they dropped this 17-track project. And then almost 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks later, 3 weeks later, they dropped We Still Don't Trust You, which we'll get into in a little bit. But we're gonna focus on We Don't Trust You right now. So before we get into all of the extra shit with it, let's talk about the album itself, man. Let's talk about the music, man. All right. Warren, how you feeling about the album?
I'm surprised that you're talking about it as if like this is just some ordinary album that just came out, dog. To me, right now, it's the best album that's coming out this year thus far. It is
Facts.
Phenomenal. It is.
I agree.
It is an album that I didn't like when Future gets together with Metro Boomin. It almost seemed like okay, he's getting back. He's getting back to form, and this is the formula for like what was at the bedrock of that 2015 run, just getting together with a producer that he worked well with, and it's just like, let's do what we've like, instead of like, let's try to like step into a new artistic direction or do something new. Let's hop in this bag and let's do what we've always done. And they executed it to a T. Like this,
Yeah.
We Don't Trust You is honestly, it's the Future album that I personally have been waiting for quite some time. Where it's just like, just keep working. Let's keep doing what's been like, what's gotten you this level of acclaim, at least to me. So like, yeah, I have honestly nothing bad to say about the album because it lives up to its expectations.
Run through the track list real quick. Like, what are songs that you fucks with? Like, you banging.
Let me see the ones that I saved. Hold on, let me go into my library here. That far. Okay, here we go. Young Metro, Ice Attack, of course, Like That, Cinderella, Ain't No Love, Everyday Hustle, GTA, and What the Fuck You Mean.
Yeah, what the fuck you mean? That's a banger. That's an old joint. For those that know,
just about like let me see here. Yeah, about like half the album I've saved. It is but I can't say that there's a track on there where I was like, yeah, not feeling it. I mean, we can say that about like I Still Don't Trust You, but that's because like I'm like me personally that how I have my biases against R&B Future.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna get to that. We are definitely gonna get to that, dog.
This right here was just like, this is perfect. Okay, this is fucking DS2 Future all over again.
Whoa, whoa, that's crazy. All right.
It's in that. To me, it's in that vein. I'll
give you that. I feel like DS2 is crazy.
DS2 is crazy. And listen, I'm not saying that like this is up like this. DS2 was a moment in and of itself to kind of like, and honestly, I think in due time this may look, because considering what's the fallout of what we're experiencing right now, it might be looked at as that kind of moment right now. We're just kind of living in it. So I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but like, damn, listen, Future, like honestly, he's just continues to solidify that he is one of them.
Yeah, he one of them. Yeah, man. All right. So me, I don't want to sound like I don't like the album because I literally shadowed exactly how Warren feels. I think this I think this is the best project of the year. You know what I mean?
Thus far, yes.
My man came super correct. It took some time though. It wasn't like an automatic hit for me like I Never Liked You was, because I do feel like that's like his second best album, dog. I ain't even gonna cap. I think I Never Liked You. I Never Liked You was just so good, dog. And it was, most of the album was, I think all of it was produced by just ATL Jacobs. So that was something like kind of different for Future, different vein. This is something that we're used to. So we're expecting that fire. And I'm not saying they didn't come correct. They definitely came correct. But there's a couple tracks on this joint I was just like, all right, like, this is cool. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I may be the only one that feels this way, but I do not think Future and Travis Scott are a good mix for each other. I really don't, dog. And they have like several songs together.
Hell
and
yeah.
like a lot of them I just don't really care for. Like Solitary's on that one album from a couple years ago. Like I really ain't like that joint. Then he had on The Wizard, he had that shit with Travis that I really wasn't feeling like that. It was cool, but it wasn't like the highlight of the album. You know what I mean? I don't know if they collab that well, man.
What about did Future feature on his album?
Yeah, but that's different, man. That beat was made for Future to slide on, dog. That joint was that honestly was a beat that Ye should have gave to Kanye, dog. I don't know why he didn't. I mean, Ye should have gave, my bad. Ye should have gave the Future. You know what I mean? I really think he slid on that joint. I think Travis is like the outlier on Telekinesis. Like SZA and Future body that fucking song, dog. Like Travis is just there on that joint to me. You know what I mean? His chorus is nice, but like Future slid on that song, dog. So I people try to ship them together as like a great collab duo, and I don't know. I don't know, man. But the album's heat, dog. All right. The album is fucking from back to front heat. Like I'll tell y'all, you know, just real fast what I like and dislike. I love We Don't Trust You. Young Metro is just Yo Metro. That's my shit, dog. Ice Attack is if you know, you know. That's an old, that song is so old, but it's still fire, dog. That song still, I mean, heat. Type Shit, of course, is, I mean, I think, and this just might be a hot take, I think Future and Playboy, they a nice little duo together, man. They don't collab that much. I think they only got like 2 or 3 songs together, but they hit when they get together, man. Claustrophobic is a banger. Like That is insane. That shit gets mad play. That shit is insane, dog. Like, I like Slimed In a lot. I don't know why people don't like Slimed In, but that's my shit, dog.
Not for nothing. We speak of this as if like this is exclusively like a Future thing, but honestly, with the display from this and the follow-up as well, I think Metro Boomin has to be up there for like producer of the year.
I've been said that.
But like with this, like this has to solidify it. Okay, his production on these bodies of work has just been second to none. It's just been incredible.
He was solidified on a Spider-Man joint, to be honest. Dog.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. But like, I mean, he needs to be recognized at this point. Like,
yeah, hell yeah.
I think after something like this, it would be criminal to not recognize Metro Boomin for what he's been able to do with it on these projects. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, man. So Slimed In, I liked a lot. Yeah, I mean, that was a nice little, like, magic little beat, man. And then we got, like, I think is my favorite song on the album, dog. Magic Don Juan, which I can't believe you did not save that joint, man. That second part is Future and Metro at their fucking best, dog. All right, that second part with the Princess Diana diamonds ain't cheap. Better pay your fucking mortgage. That's my shit, dog. And then my man just come in on that joint. Princess Diana diamonds too cheap. He slid on that joint, dog. Yo, then you got Cinderella, which again, it's an old song. That song is old, dog, but still a bop. I like it a lot. You know what I mean? Running Out of Time is like, I mean, I like the original Out of Time from the self-titled album better, man. You know what I mean? Me personally. Fried was my favorite song till I like really got to listening to Magic Don Juan. So Fried, I can't believe you didn't say Fried either. Because that's like a classic, like little future banger.
Listen,
You know what I mean?
I only saved the ones that like were particularly my favorites. Everything else is like I'm not saying that like they were bad. Just they listen. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to this album front to back. No skips whatsoever. It's just that it was
I will say that. It don't got no skips. Like, Ain't No Love. Like, I could skip it, but I'm gonna let that joint play.
no, Ain't No Love is hot. Ain't No Love is one
That's
of my
crazy.
shit.
I think that's one of the outliers. Like that, Seen It All, Everyday Hustle. I really ain't feeling too much. Like, I wasn't really feeling that joint. GTA's cool. What the Fuck You Mean is a banger. And Where My Twin At is just, that's my shit, man. Shout out Thug, man. Shout out Thug, man. I like the album a lot, man. I felt like a lot of people thought I didn't like it at first because I really wasn't listening to it. And it was just like, no, like this is my shit, dog. Like, y'all are tripping. Like, this is Future once again coming correct. But we'll talk about it more on this when we get to the second project. I mean, because we're gonna technically kind of review 3 albums. Yeah, I mean, in this little podcast. So we'll give the final score when we review the last album of this. But yeah, perfect. I think I would say perfect body of work. But this is Future in his bag, dog, in his literal pocket, dog. Future, Metro Boomin, doing a fucking thing. Yeah, I mean, feeding the streets. I love it. I love to see.
On top of the sound has not gone stale, so of course you can ride this.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think just everything is just. It's like I've said, like ever since he dropped Heroes and Villains, man. This man does movie soundtracks. I mean, he literally did do a movie soundtrack, but his beats are movie soundtrack worthy. Like, you can play this album in like a movie, probably somewhere. Like, I don't know. It's gotta be a hood ass movie, but you can play it in a movie, dog. You know what I mean? But yeah, so after the internet got done dissecting all of this shit, tearing this album apart, Like That went #1 on Billboard. I think it's still #1 on Billboard.
It beat Beyonce, dog. That's saying something.
Yeah, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot, dog. And not to take nothing from her, I just think a lot of people were just kind of like, all right, this country thing's cool, but like a whole album of it was like I had to turn that shit off, dog.
Listen, that don't matter. It's Beyonce at the end of the day. She did a dance fucking joint, and nobody, and like the nigga still ran.
That shit was heat. But the country joint, I got like 2-3 songs that I like, but I had to turn that shit off, dog. I had to turn that shit off. Listen, go check out my boy Shabuzi, nigga. He got my favorite song right now, and he a country artist. He a country nigga, dog. All right? Making country music, man. Shout out Shabuzi. It's called, what the fuck is that joint called? It's called A Bar Song. A Bar Song. You know what I mean? Listen to that joint, man. Listen to that joint, and then listen to the couple songs he got released from his upcoming album, dog. Because I'm telling you, that man's nice. Shout out to black motherfuckers doing country music, the music that we, made in the beginning. But I digress. I'm getting off the topic a little bit. You know what I mean? So boom, internet exploded. You know what I mean? It was just a lot, and it was just waiting for Drake, Cole to respond, because they had to respond to this. You know what I mean? He came right at first person shooter, dog. You know what I mean? So Cole and Drake had to respond. Everybody's waiting for the response. The song went #1, caused a lot of controversy. People basically saying, and listen, people were kind of waiting on this podcast because they want to know how much glazing I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do too much, dog. All right. I'm gonna do like Dunkin' Donuts level glazing on this joint. All right, and I'm gonna respond to a post that I put up on Facebook that I didn't respond to because I wanted to save it for the podcast. Warren, I wanted to save it for here. I mean, but it caused a lot of controversy, man, especially from the Drake camp, because a lot of people were dick eating, basically saying that once again Future had to go number one, he had to have Drake's out, which I agree. I'm gonna keep it real, man. I was waiting for Drake to, send these niggas an invoice, dog. Like, you're welcome. I was waiting on it, but he didn't do it. And he didn't respond for some time, man. Who shot the first shot was my man J. Cole, man. J. Cole, man. It's a cold world. He dropped a motherfucking little mixtape thingy, I guess you can call it, called Might Delete
What is a
Later.
mixtape these days? I swear to God, it's like
I just think this was like a project that he just put out there for Dreamville, because Dreamville was the festival was coming up.
Oh yeah, like he did with D-Day the other. So it's kind of like it's almost like it's kind of to be expected when Dreamville, when like the festival's coming out, something's gonna drop to kind of get you like hyped and prepared for it and whatnot.
Yeah, so he dropped Might Delete Later, and he wasn't lying with the title, dog. The nigga wasn't lying when he said Might Delete Later, dog. He wasn't lying. You know what I mean? So we got a little project from my boy J. Cole, my boy, man, my brother, man, my fellow biracial brother. You know what I mean?
Essentially.
You know what I mean? We got 12 tracks. Oh, my fault. 11 tracks, right? Because he got rid of one, which we'll talk about later.
He, in fact, did delete that one later.
So we might delete this podcast later. Who knows? Yeah.
Might delete this podcast. There's the title card for this one.
Yeah, real shit. That's the title. Might delete later, dog. Real shit. Oh, man. So boom, we got this little project from J. Cole, man. Warren, tell us how you feeling about it, man. Tell us.
No, listen, sans the obvious attention point, it's a solid project. Like, it's, again, to give you like, it's the preamble before his anticipated Fall Off album. So like, you don't go into this with like, listen, Cole's been on like a feature like tirade the past couple years where he just shows up and just murders every feature that he's been on, and for whatever artist is brave enough to want to have him on the same track as him, and he's just been killing shit the entire time.
Thanks.
Like, I think honestly it was almost kind of like without saying at this point in the whole Big Three conversation, as far as who was the best rapper, like Cole was stand out above and beyond all the others in all the other contemporaries because of the output that he's been doing these past couple years with the feature run.
I will agree on that. I agree 100%. And the key word on there, just the work he's been putting on these past couple years, man. Just that's the key word. We'll talk about that later. But go ahead.
And I think we can go into like deeper commentaries about like other things like later on. But like basically, but with regards to this particular project, it's a solid project. There's a couple of tracks and everything that I like. I mean, I think the one that stood out to me the most, I want to say, was Crocodile Tears. But like,
that was a banger.
I liked what's it? I think Stealthy was a nice intro. And Stealth Mode.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Other than that, I'm just kind of like, it's a solid project. Cole's rapping. All right. What do you expect? But I guess the standout piece of it was the outro.
Yeah. Well,
the now deleted outro
anymore.
Yeah.
It's a 7-minute drill, man. If you heard it, you heard it, and if you know, you know. That was the banger, dog. That was the banger. All right, boom. This is why I'm here on the podcast. All right. This project, I'm not really feeling it, dog. And I hate to say that from my boy J. Cole. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really feeling this joint as a full body, dog. Like, there's a couple songs I could pick out of this joint and be like, damn, like this is a fucking like Pie. That is heat, dog. That is a 10
Oh
out of
yeah,
10
yeah, yeah,
song,
yeah.
dog. That is,
People love that
dog,
joint.
Daylight, Absol, nigga, what tore that joint up, dog? I really like that shit. Crocodile Tears was another joint. Pricey was good. The shit with Cam was really good. That's another song. So there's like songs that I like, but it's a little like slow moments, man. Like I wasn't feeling it, dog. Like I didn't like Stealth Mode too much. Hunt Rabbits is cool. The Joe Essential C, I really wasn't feeling. Fever threw me the fuck off, dog. Like Fever was like, nah, bro. Cole, just stick to what you do, man. All right. Sticks and Stones.
Is this project something to be truly evaluated the way in which like a normal project or album would be? Like this really is just like, I don't want to say it's like a throwaway, but again, it's just like, hey, here's something to kind of hold you over, and like this is
I
like
agree on
the
that.
main thing.
That's why I'm not going to be too harsh on it. I'm not like, oh man, this shit ruins Cole's legacy. Like I'm not going to
Like,
go that far. But
this is not going to get submitted to be for Grammy consideration.
Yeah. Listen, I might forget later. I mean, like that's just how I feel. Like when it comes to this album, like I mean, like I don't think I'm gonna really be carrying this album anywhere close to the end of the year, man. Like as much as I do like Pie and I like Ready 24, I like that a lot. And the now deleted 7-minute drill, which I really, really liked. Like I really, 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 really like that joint. The low moments on this joint just was too low for me, man. And that's what kind of kills Cole a lot of times when people bring up the big three conversation. Like again, like the going to 7-minute drill time, right? He was throwing shots at my man Kendrick throughout the whole album, but they really went through the chest with 7-minute drill, man. Talking about like, now he said that on Pie Day where he said his second album put people to sleep. You know what I mean? And then Twitter like went crazy because they were just like, nigga, we can say the same thing about you. You know what I mean?
They're like facts, but you're not the one to be the one to talk.
Yeah, it was like the wrong nigga saying that shit. Like he should have sent that bar to Drake because it would have been better in Drake's hands than Cole's hands, to be honest. But it was a nice bar because a lot of people don't like To Pimp a Butterfly. To me, I had to go on Twitter and I had a lot of people look at me kind of crazy. But that's like my favorite Kendrick album. Like really my favorite Kendrick album. That's the album that I feel like out of his entire discography, I go back to the most is To Pimp a Butterfly. Like Good Kid, Mad City, I might listen to like Money Trees or something, or Swimming Pools, and then like I'm getting the fuck out of there. You know what I mean?
You don't listen to Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe?
Nah, I haven't heard that song in years, bro.
Backseat Freestyle?
Haven't heard it in years, but I'm gonna listen to it after this joint because that's a banger. That's a fucking banger. That's my shit.
I swear to God, like I will fight a nigga to be like, yo, honestly, I don't care what you think about To Pimp a Butterfly. It's not touching Good Kid, Mad City.
That's cool, and that's why I had to tell people. Like I think Good Kid, Mad City is his best album. I say that by far. But my favorite album by him is To Pimp a Butterfly, dog. Like I said, I think just even when it dropped, like it was just a perfect time for that shit to come out, man. And it was like, I said it already, I'm biracial, but even being, who I am, I could feel that motherfucking album, dog. At the end of the day, I am still a black man, dog. You know what I mean? So I felt that shit. Like niggas getting fucking killed and shit, all crazy by these police and all this shit that was going on like that.
Nigga tragic.
Yeah, like that shit was dog. It was a great album to go with the times. Mortal Man is one of my favorite Kendrick songs ever. So that's why I always go back to the album. It's usually that for that song, and I just kind of stay to just listen to the rest of the vibes, like These Walls and shit like that. Because I really like that project, dog. And it's like for people that like not like that project, to me is like crazy. Because I feel like everything after that is just not that good. Like I'm keeping it real. Like I said, we're gonna call the podcast might delete later, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna keep it real with you. I really think Damn and Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers are just the greatest fall from grace ever, dog. And when people say he won a Pulitzer Prize for Damn, it's like that's the wrong album for him to win that joint on, dog. Like he should have. Like that is like his most commercial album, and I appreciate him for doing that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's unabashedly a commercial album.
Yeah,
what is their
Pulitzer
worthy of? Yeah, what is their Pulitzer worthy about that? You can make a case for To Pimp a Butterfly. You can make a case for Good Kid, Mad City. Damn, I'm not quite sure. Okay, I think it's wildly overrated.
Yeah, very, very 100%. And me personally, man, like when he said that bar, that shit kind of hurt me a little bit. But he was speaking facts, man. He was spitting his bars. But he was killing him on the 7-minute drill joint, and I was happy that Cole threw those shots and hit him with them jabs and shit like that, because that's like what hip hop needs, man. Not only just what hip hop needs, but it's just like, Cole, don't let that nigga talk to you like that, man. And it's like, I'm gonna tell y'all where I stand already, so y'all know where I stand with this shit. I'm on Team Kanye with this Civil War. Right? I'm on Team Kanye, nigga.
Just break the fourth wall and just be like, let's bring a whole nother nigga that's not even involved in the situation.
I'm Team Kanye, nigga. I'm not on Drake's side, and I'm not on Future's side. I'm more leaning towards Future's side than anything. Just kind of cause, but some of the shit is kind of corny. I'll say I'm leaning more towards Drake's side, and I'll stand on that.
You phony as fuck.
I think I'm standing more on Drake's side. Yeah, I think I am.
You done switched up in less than a minute. That is phony.
Might delete later, nigga.
We definitely don't trust your ass.
No, real shit though. It's just I'm trying to think of the whole beef in a whole at this point, like, because we're going in chronological order, right? At this point right now that we're talking about, like when he dropped 7-minute drill and all that shit, I think I was more leaning on Future's side. And it wasn't because of, I think the whole ganging up thing is kind of corny as fuck. And we'll see that more. We talk about We Still Don't Trust You, where they double down on it in the, we'll talk about that later. But you know what I mean? They just double down on it. You know what I mean? And I just felt like that was like kind of corny, like just all the, you know, you got to pull out the Avengers of hip hop to basically take down one man. That just already shows you that, you know what I mean, how influential and how powerful this man Drake is, you know what I mean? So like, that's the glazing that I'm going to give you. That's all I'm going to really give you besides his response, which we're going to get to in a second. You know what I mean? But that's all the glazing I'm going to give you on Drake. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think 20 niggas going against one nigga is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Is it really 20 niggas, though?
It's a lot of niggas, dog. I was looking at this shit like, man, this nigga about to get cooked, cuz. Like, I was looking at this shit like Drake about to get fucking cooked, dog. Like, this shit is not looking good, dog. You got Cole, and that was cool. He had his biracial brother stand beside him for him to get up on that fucking stage a couple days later and say, man, and we're gonna talk about that in great detail, right? Because I'm actually on his side with the shit.
Let's talk about it now.
With that shit.
Let's talk about it now, then.
All right, so boom. Why 7-minute drill is deleted? Because Cole got up on that stage at Dreamville and basically said to a crowd of a bunch of people, I don't know how many people. People said like 50,000 people. I think that sounds about right. Whatever. That You know, this shit been kind of fucking with his soul, man. It's been kind of fucking with him that he dissed somebody that and I'm paraphrasing right now, he dissed somebody that he really respects, you know what I mean, that he looks at like a brother, and he felt like it was corny to kind of take those jabs at him and shit like that. And he was just like, the crowd was just like, what? And he was just basically like, yeah, I think I'm gonna take a 7-minute drill off of, streaming platforms and shit. And the internet went crazy, dog. Like, all this man apologized, all this shit. He's weak. He's that, this, then the third. Let me get the floor real quick. Warren, let me take the floor on this one, dog. All right. I need you to turn off everything that you got in your background right now. I'm talking to you, the listener of this podcast. I need you to turn off everything. I need you to just, it's time for a little bit of self-reflection, nigga. It's time for a little bit of meditation.
I have a mini mental health podcast break.
I actually felt Bull when he said that shit, man. And it's not because I'm a J. Cole dick rider or anything like that. I really do love J. Cole. He's in my top 3 favorite of all time, man. But I felt him on that ground, and being in a field which is hip hop, right? Is hard, dog. It's tough because there's a lot of stipulations and there's a lot that is expected of you, as Joe Budden nigga would say. There's a lot for you to, when you come into hip hop, it's not like when you come into pop or you come into R&B where you gotta salute the greats and idolize the people that came before you. There's a lot of shit that comes with garnering the name of being a hip-hop artist. And one of them is you have to defend yourself when niggas come at you. You got to. Because if you don't, you look weak, man. You look weak. You know what I mean? And it's just one of the, I guess we could say, the 10 commandments of hip-hop, man. When a motherfucker come at you, you gotta respond, dog. You know what I mean? As an MC, you know what I mean? You gotta do exactly what it do, man. You gotta move the crowd, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. And I think with this day in hip hop that we live in, that 10 commandments is kind of just broken. I mean, like all the shit that stood on, you got a lot of people that come into hip hop that don't give a fuck about the people that came before them and paved the way for them to do what the fuck they do. And to a certain point, you gotta, feel some type of way, but at the same time, you gotta understand evolution. And I think with J. Cole, there's a certain maturity that comes in your life, dog. I feel that. I feel that right now, dog. I feel that right now, dog. Like there's a lot of shit that I got going on, with people in my life, that you kind of just gotta learn to like let the fuck go sometimes, man. And sometimes I think with the J. Cole situation specifically, I think you can let other people put a battery in your back and make you move when you really don't want to. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I feel about the J. Cole diss. I feel like him getting up on that stage was saying like, hey, somebody put a battery in my back and I went into kill mode when I really didn't want to do that shit. That's like you beefing with your mans and you go for your man's jugular, dog. You know what I mean? Like, your brother. You know that nigga. So you know what makes him tick, man. That's like, you've been friends with a nigga for so long or you respect somebody for so long and you just come at him. You like, well, that's why that bitch left you 4 years ago and was fucking on that other nigga. Like, you went for the jugular. Like, you hurt somebody that you feel as though you respect and you somewhat idolize, dog. And that shit was fucking with him, dog. Because at the end of the day, if I was to do that to my mans, me and Warren been friends for 15, 16 years? If I was to do that to him, that would be corny of me. That would be some corny shit to do to him, dog. You know what I mean? But because it's a sport of hip hop, it's looked at as, yeah, you defend yourself. You did what you're supposed to do. But some people that ain't how people feel at the end of the day, man. That's like corny shit to some people. And I think that's how he felt. No, that's how I feel he generally felt. He got a battery put in him with like that. He probably had a bunch of people in his ear like, you got to get that nigga. You got to respond. You got to do all this. And he went on go mode. And it was just like in the aftermath, because there was a lot of dick eating. Like, dog, niggas were fucking swallowing J. Cole the fuck up, dog. They was going crazy on his meat when he dropped that 7-minute drill joint. Rightfully so. But at the same time, it was just like a lot of people were just like, yo, Kendrick can't come back from this and this, that, and the third. And I agree. But like, you know what I mean? It's just when he apologized, it let hip hop down and everybody came at him for that. But it's like sometimes
So the nigga let Nas down again.
Yeah, I saw that. That shit was funny. That shit was funny as shit. You know what I mean? But it's just like I felt him, dog. Like sometimes it's just like it's bigger than, it's like you said, it's deeper than rap, dog. It's deeper than rap. And I think for him, that's what it was. It was just like, I respect my man so much. That's just corny to me.
Nas down twice.
Yeah. Listen, I wouldn't be worried about letting Nas down, nigga. Nas let me down with fucking 6 albums in 2 years, nigga. Like, that nigga let me down, dog. Shit. But yeah, man, that's how I feel on that whole take. You know what I mean? Is it bad for hip hop? Hell yeah. But dog, like sometimes, man, like we're in a different age, dog. And I think sometimes we gotta move on from certain traditions that kind of aren't needed, nigga. Like I said, like I feel like that shit, they have a whole like sector and genre for that type of hip hop, man. It's called battle rap, nigga. Like, go listen to a battle rapper, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, we'll get into it when we get to the next album. But how did you feel when he apologized, man? I mean, soft light-skinned niggas over here. Let a dark-skinned brother, I mean, explain how he felt about the situation.
You're gonna give people the wrong idea about who I am, and they don't got a picture of me. I'm not dark-skinned, nor am I light-skinned. I'm kind of in the middle somewhere.
He a brown nigga. He one of them brown niggas.
I'm not bringing that Air Force energy over here, dog. I can honestly say this entire situation is a bit conflicting in regards to, like, you know, what does this mean in regards to like hip hop and its traditions and the things like that. Like, I go back to, okay, remember back in like the 2000s, like early 2000s, remember those beef documentaries?
Yeah, I remember. My fault, my shit cut out for a minute. Yeah, I remember.
Like, those used to be like, those were like, to this day, it's my favorite like documentary series, Beef 1, 2, and 3. It is like, to the audience, if you have never seen it, like, it is a good, for me, it's a good time capsule, but also just kind of gives you an idea of like, whenever we talk about things like rap beef or anything like that, that is like required watch to give you an understanding of like, okay, this is the history behind all this type of stuff and what, you know, came of it, and these like, you know, iconic beefs that have like made, not necessarily made this genre, but have just kind of like have stood out and have like just been so at the forefront of the genre. They talk about like Nas, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Ja Rule, in other beef series, you got T.I. Lil Flip, Nelly versus Chiggy, like all these Game 50 Cent, like all of these iconic moments that have existed in the hip hop landscape under the name of beef, and like what has it done for like some rappers' careers. It's elevated some. It's, you know, others have not been able to recover from, like, you know, the public perception of these sorts of things. Now, I also understand that that's also like it's a relic of a bygone era.
That's facts. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And part of me is just like, okay, everyone's talking, like, you know, the people who are disappointed in Cole. So, like, there's part of it that where I feel as though it can be a bit warranted, but there's also part of me where it's like, how do you expect me to, like, I'm the kind of person who does not don't like the way white people have kind of like used the term beef so like frivolously, as if like it just means that you just don't like somebody, when it's just like, oh no, when it was used back then, it's a clear distinction between you having tension with someone versus you having beef with this person. the whole thing, what's beef? It's not just like, oh yeah, me and him just don't like each other. It's like, no, nigga, you need to look over your shoulder. You got to look both ways before you cross the street. We gotta make sure it's like the definition of on site before on site was a thing. Like this is heavy. Like and sometimes it's like if it's up forever when people's is beefing.
Yeah.
So part of me is like, you can't manufacture something like that. When things like that was going on at the time, like in the 2000s or even beyond that, these were people that genuinely did not like that. They had beef. Motherfuckers died. Motherfuckers got shot. Motherfuckers were in harm's way.
Over this shit. Yeah.
Crew members got killed and everything like that. We're like shootings outside of radio stations and all that type of stuff. Stuff like this did not just exist on wax. Even though we like to have this idea that, oh yeah, a beef can exist where it's just records, but it's like, no. If you genuinely have that level of tension with somebody, if it's at the point in which you have beef, there's going to be some extracurricular activity that come from it, and sometimes for it to not go that way, there has to be a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we, as the audience who are exposed to this, aren't privy to, that gets done, that allows us to make it seem like, oh yeah, things have just been smoothed out. Like, we are saying this from the consumer standpoint that this is just entertainment for us, but in reality, a lot of people are like serious about this because it's their livelihoods at risk.
Yeah.
Like, if I lose, you're telling me like, okay, this journey that I've been doing in rap music is over now? Oh yeah, no, like you're gonna have to die before I lose this type of stuff. So like, there's interests involved. So when it comes to when it came to the whole Cole and Kendrick thing, it just seemed kind of like, okay, we're competitive and all that kind of stuff, which is one thing, but
doing it for the sport. Yeah, none of this shit is serious. And
then it's not beef.
Yeah.
If we're doing this for the competitive situation, competitive nature, and all that kind of stuff, then cool, I guess. My question is like, okay, but at what all it takes is somebody to say something personal for it to kind of go off the rails. And to me, at this juncture of things, it didn't seem like it got personal. Like, honestly, in my honest opinion, if Cole wanted to go bar for bar, continue this jab fest with him to kind of be in the sport of being competitive and whatnot, he could mention the fact that they've been on songs together and he's never rapped with them.
Nah, this is facts.
It's never I've thought about it the other day where it's like they've collaborated on songs. It's just that anytime where it's Kendrick and Cole on a song, it's just Cole doing the rapping. Kendrick has ducked going bar for bar with Cole at every attempt.
But I never thought about that.
But I digress. It just seems like we go to the 7-minute drill situation. He said a lot of things that sure, you're saying it because it's smart, it's witty, yada yada yada, but damn well he didn't believe that shit.
Yeah.
But you can't say what's it, your second album put niggas to sleep. You fucked that album though. You can't say this to. It's funny because these two people clearly admire each other, and it's like you want them to kind of manufacture this thing, and I'm gonna have to lie and be disingenuous and everything like that for what? For what?
Yeah, literally for what? Yeah.
But at the same time, this is also the same guy that, again, on his feature run has been telling people that he's the best. And it's just like, now you're being challenged at that by somebody who also wants to.
That's what a lot of people have been saying too, yeah.
So it's kind of like, that's why I'm conflicted, where it's like, you don't want to, this isn't beef, and you're never going to get into the point in which you can't be gassed into saying something personal about somebody that you genuinely admire. But at the same time, is there a different way to kind of go about it that kind of keeps that competitive spirit and edge that rests at the core of what hip hop is?
Maybe collaborating together. I would think who can have the best verse? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like part of me, I think a lot of that is also like motivated by like their fan bases are always going to ride for them. Like
Yeah,
there's
that's true.
like you put Cole and Kendrick on the same song, and like what's it? The Cole fans are gonna say Cole no matter what, even if like he spits a weak verse. And Kendrick fans, like we've had the conversations about like Kendrick fans, even when they don't understand what's going on, they will still ride for the guy, not knowing what the fuck this nigga's saying.
No, this is fact. Facts.
But I don't know. Okay, in regards to like whether this was the right or the wrong move, all it did though was make me kind of harken back and like reflect on hip hop beefs that have existed prior to this and what this that's growing before us is. And honestly, I think for a lot of like core hip hop fans are just so desperate and are clamoring to anything that kind of resembled anything close to beef that we're willing to kind of manufacture anything because we're just I guess we've gotten so bored or stale with like everybody collaborating with everybody and everybody being so friendly that we each kind of
Yeah,
want like we hadn't seen shit like this since like the Meek Mill Drake situation.
yeah, really.
And
Or
and
the Pusha T shit.
yeah, like we listen, like audiences want drama. Audiences want, but this it's kind of like wrestling in a way. Okay, they want the storylines and the arcs to kind of go along with it, but at the same time, they don't want the outcome. Sometimes, like
It's
let's
true.
let's not forget, like what happened with Tupac and Biggie. Like that, like a lot of this was like, yeah, it's all fun and games for the audience that this is entertaining and all that kind of stuff until you get the outcome. I mean, we saw like this video of King Von dying and shit, and that was legit beef that these people was having. Like the whole entire situation with like artists in Chicago is just you're surrounded with beef nonstop, left, right, and center, and like damn near half the goddamn like tracks that are being put out there are just diss records about other gang members. Like it's entertainment for us, especially for the people that don't have to live within these sort of circumstances and situations. And it's like I think there's a larger ethical discussion that can be had about like, okay, what is this? What is this? And like, because like, sure, if it's just competition, then fine. But more times than not, it's never just that. It's very
Mm.
personal. There's a lot at stake here. There's a lot. There's people whose livelihoods that are dependent upon that specific artist to stay relevant and still stay successful. And if you get in the way of that, then what's it? People go up the guns
Yeah.
to defend what's theirs. So it's like, yeah, like I don't know. I don't know what to say of this. Okay, I honestly don't know.
How do you feel if you, let's say, you take the sport of hip hop away, right?
Mm.
Which is kind of hard to do. How do you feel? Do you feel like he did the right thing? Or do
If
you
it's
feel
right,
like
if it's
this is
right
just,
for him,
you go ahead, my fault. I'm sorry.
if it's right for him, then sure. Honestly, I'm trying to remember what I remember like getting into a conversation with Mike about this in a different group chat, and it just kind of was like people just don't know how to let ego go. Like this is a different another more prominent way in which toxic masculinity just kind of like encompasses the way we sort of think about things as if like it makes him weak to want to be like I don't want to do this to opt out from what's expected of him. Like again,
Yeah.
if it don't sit right with you, it don't sit right with you. That's true ego death right there. And he's being honest that he's like, yeah, like you were mentioning before, I let other people gas me into doing this. Peer pressure is a motherfucker when it comes to these sorts of situations. And like I don't want to be taken away from like my goals, aspirations, and who I am truly as a human being, just so I can fulfill the desires of what others want of me.
Yeah.
I
Well
think it takes
said.
I think it takes true character to be able to like express and display that, especially on such a public forum. And like, yeah, it's going to like among your peers, it's not going to look well. And like honestly, I don't know where you go from this because it's like if can he still be like, I'm the best rapper out here and all that kind of stuff and still talk the way he talks in his raps?
I think
But
so. I think so.
I mean, I think listen, I think it just depends on like how people respond to it now.
His rap skill ain't go nowhere. You know what I mean?
His scratch skill's not going anywhere, but like
Yeah.
I think the loot, it's like people are saying this could be legacy defining in a way, and who knows if this is a positive or poor reflection on that. I think time will eventually tell how the audience responds to these sorts of things, and like how they respond to the fall off or anything from that point forward will determine whether or not like this was a good career move from, because as far as personal moves are concerned, he did the right thing for him, and that's all
Yeah.
that matters.
Yeah.
For hip hop, on the other hand, I mean, hip hop gonna have to respond at a different point to this. But right now, it's mixed signals from everyone.
Yeah. And I think to go off what you just said, man, I think a lot of people can respect it, but again, like you said, like legacy wise, he's definitely gonna be hurting. He's definitely gonna feel this later on in when it's all said and done, right? When he wants to say, all right, I'm done, I'm retiring from this thing. I think that's when we'll see it. But as far as him saying he's the best, because I seen a lot of people say that, like he can no longer claim that he's the best, like and why not? He's still got the rapping skill. The skill ain't going nowhere. It's just he's not participating in. Let's call this like track and field, right? Like, and it's crazy. I feel like another artist compared. I think he did. Holy shit, J. Cole did when he sat down with Lil Yachty. He said like, hip hop is like track and field. Track and field isn't just sprinting. You got pole vaulters, you got the shot put niggas, you got all the motherfuckers that do all the extra shit. I think at the end of the day, he can, when you join a track and field team, you still gotta, do your daily running exercises. So you still gotta rap in the sense of, hip hop. But as far as getting involved in all the extracurricular shit, like, pole vaulting, doing the standing broad jump and all that shit, that's different shit. You ain't got to do that. So if he's a long distance nigga, he ain't going to be doing all that shot putting and shit like that. You know what I mean? Now, I ain't trying to, confuse you or anything. I'm just saying, like,
I think you lost a significant portion of the audience. What the fuck is this nigga talking about?
What is he talking about track and field? I just think, I think that particular part of sport, at least with his brother, he don't want to partake in. He don't want to do that shit. Maybe we're just, again, we're not to cut you off. I think maybe we're just not privy to certain information, and maybe J. Cole knows and other people knows. Because like I said, there was times in the Pusha T and Drake beef where people were saying like, yo, this shit about to get like hot. Like motherfuckers got to stand down. Like this about to go deeper than rap. Maybe J. Cole got a feeling like this was going to go deeper than rap and he don't want no part of it. Who knows?
You ever hear that Ric Flair quote, in order to be the best, you got to beat the best?
Yeah.
I think that is what people are kind of like constantly going to harken back on when it comes to that. Like if you're going to talk about you're the best, and here comes somebody who also wants to lay claim to that same sort of thing. And quite frankly, this guy, like in the whole Kendrick Cole situation, I will firmly say that like I'm more of a Cole person because I feel as though his albums were more relevant to me and my experiences. But I will also say this though: Good Kid, Mad City is better than anything that Cole has and ever will drop.
Facts.
And I think, like, as far as like overall legacy and everything like that, this guy has a discography that critically acclaimed and all that kind of stuff that kind of looks at, that will make it seem like has almost like a better argument to have a rightful claim to be the best. So here is your opportunity to potentially I'm not saying solidify, but like to publicly make that claim. All right, here it was like you were right there at the precipice, and you refused, like right there, and then you refused to jump when it came to the point.
J Cole to me reminds me of Jay-Z, dog. It's crazy. Like their careers kind of align with each other, kind of shadow each other. You know what I mean? Like J. Cole to me has a lot of albums that, same with Jay-Z, are kind of touch and go, hit or miss. You know what I mean? Whereas Kendrick's discography is very like clean. It's just 4 albums, technically 5, you want to be that way. You know what I mean? He's got 4 albums, you know what I mean, that, are just, everybody loves him. You know what I mean? Very clean discography. He's kind of like Adele in that feat.
When he drops, it's gonna be earth shattering, and it's gonna
yeah. And people are gonna fuck with it. It's gonna win awards. It's gonna go hard. I mean, regardless of how the whole hip hop looks at it, the core of it is always gonna ride with Kendrick on that sentiment. Because like with me, I feel like with Cole, like his first album was cool. It was all right.
It was dope.
Center was where I was like, all right, hold on, we gotta watch this nigga.
It was also dope.
Forest Hills Drive is the climax. That's the best he ever done.
It was his high point right there.
You know what I mean? No pun intended. For Your Eyes Only was kind of like the fall off of the climax.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was not.
But I don't think it's.
Good.
I don't think it's. I think it's definitely his second best album, dog. It's definitely
I wouldn't say that.
I would say that easily.
It was not that
KOD was a fall flat. All right, I did not like KOD.
It was an underrated album. It's a fantastic album. It's a great project.
I think it's pretty.
It's a concept album. It is amazing. It is quite a good album. We will have to revisit that one, but man, that is
one day. And then I think his last album, the
off season.
The off season, yeah, I knew it had like off in it. The off season, I thought that was pretty good, but it was kind of like when you fall down and you got to get up. That's what that album felt like. Like, hey,
overrated.
I'm back. I'm doing my thing.
Super overrated.
I think it's pretty good. I do agree with you on that, though. I do think a lot of people pipe it up like it's like one of his greatest. I don't think that. I think, For Your Eyes Only and Forest Hills Drives is peak, nigga. That is the peak. That is the peak, man. Like For Your Eyes Only is awesome, dog. For us light skinned niggas, biracial niggas.
Nigga was talking about folding clothes, dog. Okay, now
and it was fire, dog. It was heat. It's heat. All right. So it's like the same thing with Jay-Z. Like Jay-Z's got a couple albums like American Gangster, Black Album. You know what I mean?
Black Album is considered a classic.
Not Black Album. Kingdom Come, dog. I always get them mixed up.
About to say, nigga, what?
Kingdom Come. You know what I mean? I hate that motherfucking joint. You know what I mean? Like they have the same kind of discography to me, where they have a lot of albums, they have a lot of projects. None of them are terrible, but a few of them are just, you can.
They got some classic.
Like, hey,
got some classic. He still got some classic joints on those albums, though.
But yeah,
I was listening to Lost Ones the other day. I'm like, this song still holds up.
Yeah, man.
DOA still holds up.
Well, Blueprint 3 is just. I love that album, dog. I don't know how people hate that joint. I do not know how people hate Blueprint 3, dog. I think that was when Jay-Z should have fucking retired right there, nigga. That's when it should have been like, all right, nigga, I done did it, dog. Like, Blueprint 3 was the joint, dog. And you had to give us Watch the Throne, man.
You didn't fuck with 444?
I did. I love that joint.
Oh yeah,
That's a good way to go out. That was a good way to go out. I mean, he cleaned it up. Cleaned it up after Magna Carta, Holy Grail. But we'll save that for the podcast. But yeah, as far as this J. Cole joint went, yeah, that shit kind of upset a lot of people. But let's get to this last album, this last project. Close this whole thing up, because this is where, as of April 19th, I don't think anything dropped today. It's a Friday. I don't think anybody dropped anything. Let me check, man. We might have to hit y'all with a podcast exclusive. If a nigga dropped a bomb tonight and we missed it. I mean, ain't nobody dropped nothing. Nicki Minaj dropped a remix with Travis Scott which is crazy because she hated Travis Scott a couple years ago. So shout out to her. But yeah, nobody responded yet. All right. So as it
Taylor
goes,
Swift dropped though. Hey,
who dropped?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, so as it stands, right? so as it stands right now, nigga, we got I think before We Don't Trust You drop. No, We Don't Trust You drop, and then the Drake bomb drop. Yeah, I mean the Drake dropped his joint. So that same weekend. So last week, Future dropped We Still Don't Trust You. They had to double down on it. They had to let this nigga Drake know, nigga, we still don't trust you, nigga. Like, damn, that's crazy. I thought we was gonna get We Don't Trust You, and then they was gonna be like, all right, we're gonna do Monster 2 for y'all niggas. You know what I mean? For the streets. But they was like, nah, we're gonna double the fuck down. We're gonna give you this motherfucking project. You know what I mean? Called We Still Don't Trust You. You know what I mean? You thinking, all right, boom, he about to go in on this nigga again with all these fire hip hop tracks. And just like 2017, nigga, guess what happened? Guess what happened? We got another R&B Future album with some bonus material at the end, which we'll talk about. But yeah, this is an R&B centric album that kind of shadows Hendrix back in 2017. You know, back in 2017, Future dropped Self-Titled and he dropped Hendrix. Self-Titled was the hip hop album, whereas Hendrix was the R&B joint. You know what I mean? And he did the same thing again here, which really upset me, really hurt me. Really, yeah, I mean, going to that first track, I was just like, I was reminded of the same pain I felt, which I understand, you know, like, and in hindsight now, in 2024, you know, Solo, which came off of Hendrix, a lot of people have been revisiting Hendrix, and people have been talking about, oh, he needs to do this again, and he did it again for y'all. And I'm a wait. I'm a see, because I know Warren's gonna be quick with his review of this. How'd you feel about We Still Don't Trust You, dog?
Haven't finished it yet. There are a couple songs on there that are actually pretty decent, but for the most part, I'm just like, you know what, man?
You talking about the bonus tracks, nigga? You mean the hip hop bonus
I don't know.
tracks?
I haven't even gotten to that point yet. Actually, if I'm going to be honest, I'm like halfway through Beat It.
Oh, okay. Oh shit.
Yeah, so I haven't even gotten to like the expanded aspect of it yet. So like, I was actually like working my way through it today, to be honest, because I was like, all right, fine, I'll give it some. There's some things that there are some joints that I like. What's it? What were some ones that I liked? Beat It is pretty good. All to Myself is pretty good. Amazing.
All to Myself is banging.
What's it? The Interlude, Amazing is pretty good, and Out of My Hands, I would say, is pretty good as well.
Yeah, Love Bad Bitches is good too. I mean, but I'm yeah. Go ahead, man. You know what I mean? So you didn't even get to the J. Cole joint, did you?
No, I did not yet. Not yet. I was gonna like do it, like listen to it on the way home, but I was just kind of like, nah. I figured.
So as you was listening to this project, like, how did you feel, man? Did you feel? I mean, so far, I mean, being 15 tracks in, how did you like it?
If anything, I walk away with it more impressed with Metro Boomin and his production. Like I said, both thing. It's less for me. This one is less about how I feel about Future, because it's like, yeah, R&B Future just never does it for me. But Metro does his thing regardless. Metro did his thing on this.
I agree. I'm glad you said that. We'll give him one thumbs up for the production, man. I think he did his thing on the production. I mean, definitely need the Weeknd and Metro Boomin album. That would be nice. My review, listen to the whole thing. I listened to the whole thing twice. All right. So I listened to the whole thing twice. So I tell you how I feel. I'm somewhere in between. It fucking sucks, and it's like it's all right. It's all right. Like I like R&B Future, but this shit is weird, man. It's like this shit was like more for like the weekend and shit like that. Like I don't know, man. I don't know what they was doing with this joint, man. Like it had me thinking the whole time, right? Warren, I wanted to text you this shit. When I was listening to the album, I literally like halfway through it, I had to go listen to Save Me, nigga. I had to listen to that joint, dog. Because I honestly think Save Me's a better project, right? As far as R&B wise,
the cry for help that was Future.
I think Future did his thing on Save Me, nigga. That shit was crazy.
That nigga was trying to tell you something, dog. Like,
that shit was hot, nigga. Like my man's pain was banging, nigga. Like
I forgot that he was on that. He went,
my man said, "Baby, when the moon is up, it's not like it's like I'm not myself. Xanax doing damage, nice so I can handle it. Baby, when the moon is up, I feel I'm not myself. Pills and that shit's hot to me, dog. That shit's heat to me, dog.
Dog, we cannot forget that this nigga went from like a transformational run to just a cry for help. Like this was the wildest turnaround I ever witnessed.
Like the middle of the summer, nigga, we needed bangers, and this nigga saying, "Help me, nigga!" Like, yo, like, nah, I don't want to hear this right now, dog.
The tracks, the niggas was like, "Yo, this is fire, dog." Nigga needed some therapy. Nigga needed help.
Bro fucked me up with that album, nigga. Like, I ain't gonna lie, man. He fucked me up with that joint. I like it though. I'm like the one nigga that likes Save Me, dog. I swear to God, like Shotgun, I love that fucking song.
I keep telling you, it's not something that we should be trying to applaud. It is a cry for help.
That was a bad little Future run right there, man. Like Beast Mode 2 all the way to High Off Life, nigga. That was a bad little run, nigga.
Yeah,
that was a bad little run for Future, man. I don't know what the fuck he was doing right there. We still got some bangers in that period of time, but that is
here and there.
That's like a little chunk of Future's discography that we could rip out and it wouldn't change shit. Like it literally wouldn't change a fucking thing. We would lose Bitch Don't Get Too Comfortable. That's the only thing we would lose is that and like maybe like two other games. We wouldn't lose a lot.
Doug, it went all downhill after Evil to me.
I like Self-Titled, dog. I like Self-Titled a lot. That's in his top like 5 for me. Like album wise, like that's in his top 5.
Hey, wait, are we talking like albums or are we talking like
albums? I give him albums. Yeah, I give him albums. This is in his like top 3.
So we're not So we're not counting Beast Mode and what's it?
Nah, that's all mixtapes, man. That's all mixtapes.
I think you have
they cannot compete.
That's what I'm saying. Like if we're talking like Future, I think you have to include those.
All
like
right.
those things were so.
It might be number 5.
You might as well.
Might be number 5. We gotta do that. We gotta make that list. I'm gonna make a tier. We gotta do a little tier list joint on stream one day. I gotta pull you on it. We do that shit on stream, man. The links in the description, y'all, for the people that want to know. But I don't know how I feel about We Still Don't Trust You, dog. Maybe I'll give it one more listen, but I will say the 7 tracks we got, or I think it's like 8 or something like that, we got on the back end. Nigga, dog. I was like, where the fuck was this shit at, man? Like, we got 7 songs on the is it 7 songs? Yeah, 7 songs. We got the intro, then we got, which is just the intro to Nobody Knows My Struggle, which is a banger. All My Life, which is huge.
Nobody Knows My Struggle. This sounds like another cry for help, dog.
It might be, but listen, I'm gonna need you to listen to fucking All My Life, nigga. That shit is a banger, dog. All right. And then we got Crossed Out, which is hot. Crazy Clientele. This is when we talking about breaking up coke with his crack with his nails and shit. I was like, God damn, nigga. Like, and then we had Show of Hands with A$AP Rocky, where A$AP Rocky throws his little diss at Drake. I mean, and it was good. I liked it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I liked it a lot. I mean, I like that joint a lot. And then we got Streets Made Me a King. It was cool. But like I keep it real with you. Like in a whole, like as a whole project, I mean, we're gonna say we still don't trust you, man, because I still don't feel you on this joint, man. I mean, I still don't feel it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know how I feel about this project yet. I mean, I can't really rate it. If I was to give you a rating right now, it's like a fucking 5 out of 10. Maybe a 6, like a 5. I'm gonna listen to it one more time. Maybe we'll circle back.
How would you rate We Don't Trust You though?
I'm giving it a 9, dog.
Same.
I'm giving it a strong 9, dog. I don't think it's as good as what is it called? What is that joke called?
I never liked you.
I never liked you. Yeah, I was tripping on the name. I never liked you. I don't think it's as good as that at all. At all. That joint is a 10 out of dog. 712, the joint with Kanye. Nigga, the fucking the last ever Drake collab we gonna get, which we gonna sum it up to this, right? We're gonna end the podcast off on this, right? With 2 things really, but we're gonna end it off on this, right? This beef hurt us more than anything, nigga. It hurt the consumer more than anything. This nigga, we're never getting Drake and Future ever again, dog. What a time to be alive is literally its name now, dog. What a time to be the fuck alive. We're never gonna get a Drake and Future album again. And that shit hurts me to think about, nigga. Like the pain in my soul that we'll never get Drake and Metro on a song again is crazy.
Drake and Ross too as well. Let's not forget about that casualty along this.
Yeah, man. Dog. Rick Ross and Drake will never get that again. Which we'll talk. All right, we got to dive into that. Fucking, we'll get into all that. So, boom. After this album dropped, the day after, rumors were circling that Drake was dropping a response to all of this shit, man. He dropped a song called Drop and Give Me 50, dog.
Which then got renamed to Push-Ups.
Yeah, which got renamed to Push-Ups, dog. Which, I mean, let's talk about it, man. This was crazy, dog. I'm going to pull up the lyrics because that's how crazy this joint is, man. Drop and Give Me 50. I can't believe he ain't drop it actually yet. Like drop
like it was quote unquote leaked.
Yeah. Yeah, but people think there's like little games he played with that, like leaking it, quote unquote. So if people didn't like it, he could just be like, "Oh, it's AI and shit." Because initially everybody thought it was AI and shit like that. But I mean, no, this shit
was way too personal to be AI.
So go ahead.
No, I had nothing to say. It was like the idea of it being AI. I was like, when you listen to it, like this is like, like AI has gotten so good to the point where it can mimic voices to be but the things that were being mentioned in there was like, this is pretty personal. This is too sophisticated to be AI.
This nigga went in, dog. We're gonna go off from just the first bar. He said, "I could never be nobody #1 fan. Your first #1, I had to put it in your hand." Talking about Future, dog, because he said, you just another nigga fan, dog. I mean, that's what he said, man. But he said, the first #1. Listen, here's the other Drake glazing I told y'all about. Y'all ready? You ready for the Drake glazing?
Direct response to like the intro where it's like you a #1 fan, dog. It's like he's literally responding to him from that point on, from the intro.
From bar #1. Nigga, I was glazing from just that, dog. I was like, Drake won. Drake is about to clutch a 1v5, dog. All right, he's about to clutch this joint, dog. That's how I felt. I felt like, nigga, we playing Rainbow Six Siege. Nigga, he about to plant and fucking in objective, nigga. Drake was doing his thing, dog. He said, "You pussies can't get booked outside America for Nan. I'm out in Tokyo because I am big in Japan." And he said a bunch of other shit after that. And then he currently had a line in a song. I forget what he said. He was going to take some chains. We take the chains off of him like that. And then he said, "You won't ever take fuck you bepping with a size 7 man's on? You know what I mean? He killed him. He cooked him.
Yeah,
right?
you know damn well he had a bunch of niggas checking their shoe size right after that. He's like, hold on, wait a minute. What size am I?
I'm a size 13, nigga, so I'm definitely big stepping, nigga. When he said that shit, I was like, I gotta use it. If I ever beef with a short nigga, I got him, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Dog. Yo, listen. Shout out Drake, nigga. Shout out Drake, dog. I'm telling you,
he empowered the big feet niggas.
Yo, he killed this joint, dog. He killed this joint. I was dick riding the whole track. I had to run it back, nigga. I felt like how Drake felt when he was right above Meek Mill in the hotel and he kept playing back to back. That's how I felt, nigga. I had to keep banging this joint so niggas felt that shit like, God damn, dog. Then, he goes on and says some other shit. Then we gonna get to the. He says, you ain't in no big three. SZA got you wiped down. Travis got you wiped down. Savage got you wiped down. Like your label boy, you in the scope right now. You know what I mean? Like he talking about Interscope, like Interscope Records. He said, you in the scope right now. You know what I mean? And you gonna feel the aftermath of what I write down. I'm at the top of the mountain, so you tight now. Just to have this talk with your ass, I had to hike down, which is a double entendre, which killed the shit out of me when I read the lyrics. I'm like, yo, this nigga, somebody wrote this. I'm gonna just say that. All right, I'm gonna say that. There's no way Drake penned this joint, dog. There's a songwriter too in the booth with him when he did this joint, and I ain't even mad at him. I'm mad at him, but like I ain't even mad. This shit hard, nigga. You know what I mean? He said he was at the top of the mountain, and to have this conversation, he had to hike down, which is a double entendre. You know what I mean? Because when you talking to a short nigga,
you're doing that thing where it's like, I gotta explain the bar to you. It's like, nigga, we get it. We get it.
Dog, that nigga had to hike down and talk to his short ass. Yo, when Drake said that shit, I said, oh my God, nigga. Oh my God.
You really is dick riding right now.
It's a double entendre because he's on the top of the mountain. He had to hike down. You don't have to at the top, nigga. You don't have to explain this yet, nigga.
You don't have to explain this.
Dog, yo. And then that's when he says, what the fuck is this, a 20v1, nigga? What's a prince to a king? He a son, nigga. You know what I mean? In reference to when he said Prince outlived Mike Jack on Like That. That was a direct response to that joint, man. You know what I mean? What's a prince to a king? He's a son, nigga. He done. Not only did he call this nigga Kendrick short, all right? He didn't call it. He said he's not a big stepper. He's not a big stepper. You know what I mean? He got to hike down on his little ass. He said that he's a son. Dog, he sunned him. Which in New York, nigga, if you a New York nigga, you know when a motherfucker son you like that, that's disrespectful, dog. And we're like almost 7 days, almost 5-6 days away. And Kendrick still ain't respond. You know what I mean?
You also didn't catch the whole point that like Michael Jackson's son is literally named Prince.
Yeah. Holy shit! Oh my God. Yeah, Drake killed this nigga. It's a rap, dog. I ain't even peeped that. Somebody definitely wrote this joint, dog. And then the last little bar we'll take from this real quick is the Rick Ross hit, man. When he hit Rick Ross and he said, where's that at, man? I'm trying to find that joint, man. Oh yeah, he said, I might take your latest girl and cuff her like I'm Ricky. I can't believe he jumped in this nigga turning 50. Every song that made it on the chart he got from Drizzy, which is facts. Spending that little check you got to stay up with my business, stay about my business. That's crazy, dog. That's crazy. You know what I mean? And that's the last bar I'll take from this, right? That's the last bar I'll take from this. The rest, go listen to it, dog. 'Cause the shit is hot, dog. You know what I mean? Which is facts, by the way. I mean, Rick Ross ain't never charted until he started doing songs with Drizzy Drake Risers, man. Drake stands for do right and kill everything. You know what I mean? The GOAT. You know what I mean? That's all the Drake glazing y'all gonna get on this podcast, man. All right. I'm done now. You know what I mean? All right. Shortly after this joint dropped, Rick Ross dropped Champagne Moments, dog. He dropped a response really fast to this joint called Champagne Moments. It's up on iTunes and shit if you want to go listen to it. But I ain't gonna take no bars from that joint. Not that it's like he has a lot of hot joints in there. I thought it was actually a really good response, but now Rick Ross is just trolling him online, trying to bait him to respond again, which I don't even think he really needs to respond to Bull, man. It's just, I mean, it's just sad, man. All of this is sad because, again, we're enjoying the beef, but at the end of the day, we're feeling the after effects of this shit. We're never getting another Lord knows, another lemon pepper freestyle ever again, nigga.
Aston Martin music.
I mean, and what I wanted to say to you, Warren, from that post I put up on Facebook, is what makes me feel bad about all this shit is, again, I do feel like a lot of these people that are taking these shots at Drake, and like I've said to people in person, I'll say it on the podcast, I think Drake is a terrible person, like in real life. I think he's probably like an asshole. So he probably deserves all of this shit that he got coming towards him. Like all these niggas dissing him, I feel like is not random. I think like, hey, like, I mean, he deserves this shit. But come on, man. Drake beefing with Rick Ross beefing with Drake, though. That shit kind of like really, I felt some type of way about that shit. Because it shows me, like, not only is like Rick Ross beef for like every nigga he's ever had underneath him, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you beef with your peers and shit too, dog. And it just goes to show, like, that man got no loyalty to nobody, dog. And that shit's sad, man. That shit's sad. Like, I mean, you did all that shit to Meek to turn around and do an album with Meek, right? It shows a lot about his character. I mean, it just shows a lot about his character. And I don't be fucking with that shit, man.
I think this situation versus the situation that has happened with like the people that he had in his label is a bit different because when anything involves business, it becomes very, very complicated. And if you're ignorant to like, you know, the ins and outs of like your contracts and, you know, all that kind of stuff and what, you know, people who are like, that's why you can never have like, this is the reason why, like, when I'm doing stuff like this with you, this is me doing this with you on the friend tip. Now, if there was like a business arrangement involved with certain things, and there's money that's being exchanged between me and you or all that kind of stuff, that's when things get a bit dicey.
Oh yeah, of course.
So it's kind of like you never want to be friends with people that you're in business with because there's this whole like, you know, like there has to be a separation involved. So I never really take like any sort of like, you know, fallings out that he's had with like people that he was in business with. I feel as though it's just a byproduct of business because it just happens that way. Meanwhile, with stuff like this, I mean, hearing about a cease and desist that Drake sent over to French Montana. I mean, listen, I think also with some of Rick Ross's like, you know, fallings out and beefs and whatnot, you can say that it could be warranted. I mean, I remember
of course,
the Idols Become Rivals track with that he was addressing Birdman on. I mean, like you could say that like, hey, it came from a place of like of business ethics, if you ask me.
Look, man, I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. I'm gonna just say it like this. This shit ain't got nothing to do. This shit bigger than some French Montana shit, dog. That's what I've been trying to tell like everybody. Like, I think this shit is way bigger than some fucking French Montana. If these niggas are really beefing over a French Montana song, like French Montana, nigga, French Montana, like
we just gonna freely disrespect French. Listen, I'm not against it because I'm just like I truly think he's somebody who kind of he insists upon himself in a way where he thinks that he's kind of like he thinks he's the dude when it's like I think you fashioned a career for yourself where you're constantly around other people who are that dude and like Unforgettable. I will never like not mention that like that's like his biggest record and he's barely on it. It's technically his record, but Sway Lee carried that record. It is like unfair how Sway, like the fact that Sway, it's not Sway's record after that is ridiculous.
Yeah, man. That shit corny, man. That shit corny. That man beefing with that dude, man. Like, and like
It'd be like,
Future too is kind of corny to me because apparently like it's all over a bitch. Like y'all niggas really beefing over a woman, dog. Like this shit's crazy, dog. Y'all are millionaires. Like beefing over women, dog. Let's get that out the way, man. I don't know. I just think this whole thing we while it is fun to watch and spectate on, this gonna be my last thing I say on it. I mean, while it is fun to watch, like I'm hurting from this shit. I'm hurting, man. Like I'll never get What a Time to Be Alive again. I'm never gonna get Lord Knows again. We're not getting Aston Martin music again. I mean,
stay scheming.
Stay Scheming. We're not getting any type of Metro Boomin produced Drake songs ever again. Dog, like this shit hurts, dog. This shit hurts, man. And maybe it's for the better, maybe it's for the worse. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think everybody's gonna come out of this shit fine. Like that's one thing I'm not worried about. I think everybody's coming out of this shit just peachy, dog. Like ain't nobody gonna be hurt. I mean, everybody's gonna be just fucking fine, dog. I don't know, man.
I have two things to add on to this. Well, one, like if you're mentioning that, like a woman is at the center of Future and Drake's situation, and it's like contrast to like J. Cole's situation and whatnot. It's like what this entire situation on one end is completely and totally ego driven, whereas on the other end of the spectrum, you got Cole, who's like, I'm deciding to no longer move with ego.
Yeah. It's strange, man.
And another, I'm like, I don't even know how to like describe it because it's like I'm less fatalistic in predicting the outcomes of like this because this just seems to me like we're like this now, but everyone will come out of this relatively unscathed. And if I were to put any sort of money on what the outcome will be, I feel as though some people within that collective will piece it up, and then like we're gonna have those collaborations again. So I wouldn't say that we'll never get certain things ever again. I wouldn't be surprised if like somewhere down the road you got a picture with Drake and Rick Ross piecing it up like it's no big deal, or him and Metro Boomin. It's like you don't know the ins and outs on how they pieced it up, just know they pieced it up.
Yeah. We'll have to see, man. It's going to be an ongoing thing. Something might drop today when we drop this podcast. So, yeah, I mean, just be aware of that, y'all. But yeah, that's all I got to say on this, man. I think we got the best part about it is we got some good music out of it. We got some bad music out of it, but generally good music. I think generally good music. And I'm on the side of let me switch sides again on some J. Cole shit. Let me switching sides again. Yeah, I mean, let me switch sides. I stand on the side of getting good music, man. As long as we continue to get good music from all of these artists, that's all I care about, dog. I'm just waiting for Kendrick to respond. I think once Kendrick responds, I think that'll be it. I don't think there's a need for a round two. I think the only person that needs to get round two is Rick Ross for some reason. I just feel like Rick Ross got to get shut the fuck down. I don't know why. I just feel like it needs to happen, man. I mean, but yeah, if you ain't got no more, Warren, that's it for me.
I think we've said our piece when it comes to this matter.
All right. Well, like I said, y'all getting this joint hot, man. So if y'all listen to this on the first day, which is dropping on Friday, shout out to y'all, man. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. If you're listening later than that, man, you're probably coming up on the heels of another podcast because we're going to try to get this next one out for y'all sometime next week, probably on our regular scheduled drop day, which is like Wednesday. We usually drop on Wednesdays. So we're going to try to get something done for y'all relatively soon in the music spectrum. But yeah, this is all we got, man. Make sure you guys, as always, rate the show 5 stars, like the video if you're watching the video version. Check out the links below. Tap into our content. We're doing a lot of content, especially E-Night. He's doing a lot of shit off outside of the podcast with his channel, Couch Combat, all that shit. Make sure you check it out. But we are the fuck up out of here, man. All right. Love y'all. Peace out.